How to quiet your mind. When you can't stop worrying, Stoicism. You are not thinking about a problem right now. You are trapped inside one. The same thought keeps returning. You analyze it. You try to resolve it. You tell yourself to stop. And the moment you think you have escaped it, it returns again. Stronger. More urgent. More convincing that something terrible is about to happen. This is not overthinking. This is not weakness. This is not a character flaw. This is a mind that has never been taught how to be quiet. The Stoics spent their entire lives studying this exact problem, and they discovered something that most people never find. A practical way to stop worrying about everything, quiet your mind, and reclaim the peace that overthinking steals from you every single day. In the next 12 minutes, I am going to give you that method, not as philosophy, as a tool you can use today. Before we go into the method, you need to understand something important about worry. Worry feels productive. That is why it is so difficult to stop. When you worry, your brain believes it is solving a problem. It is running scenarios, testing possibilities, preparing for threats. And as long as the problem feels unresolved, the brain refuses to stop. But here is what the Stoics discovered, and what modern psychology has since confirmed. Worry does not solve problems. It rehearses them. Every time your mind returns to the same anxious thought, it is not making progress. It is deepening a groove, making the thought more automatic, more powerful, more difficult to quiet. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote that it is not events that disturb us. It is our judgments about events, our interpretations, our stories about what might happen. The worrying mind is not responding to reality. It is responding to a story it keeps telling itself, and that means the solution is not to think harder about the problem. It is to change your relationship with the thought itself. Here is how the Stoics did it. Step 1. Recognize the worry as a thought, not a fact. This is the foundation of the entire Stoic method for quieting the mind. And it is the step most people skip entirely. When a worrying thought arrives, the mind treats it as reality, as evidence, as a signal that something is genuinely wrong and must be resolved immediately. But a worry is not a fact. It is a prediction. And most predictions made by the anxious mind never come true. Epictetus made a distinction that changes everything. He separated what he called impressions, the raw thoughts and feelings that arrive in the mind, from judgments, the meaning we choose to attach to them. The impression arrives automatically. You cannot control that. But the judgment is a choice. The next time a worrying thought arrives, do not engage with its content immediately. Instead, name it. Say to yourself, this is a worrying thought. It is not a fact. It is not a command. It is not evidence of danger. It is a thought passing through my mind. That single act of naming creates a gap between you and the thought. And in that gap, the Stoic mindset and the path to self-mastery begin to take hold. Because a thought you can observe is a thought you can manage. A thought that observes you is a thought that controls you. Step 2. Ask the one question that ends most worry instantly. Once you have named the thought as a thought, not a fact, the Stoics had a single question they used to immediately reduce its power. Is this in my control? This question comes from the most fundamental principle in all of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control, taught by Epictetus and practiced daily by Marcus Aurelius. Some things are within our control: our thoughts, our choices, our responses, our effort, our character. Everything else, other people's behavior, the economy, the future, what has already happened, is outside our control. Most worry lives entirely in the uncontrollable. We worry about what other people think of us. We worry about outcomes we cannot guarantee. We worry about futures that have not happened and may never happen. The next time a worrying thought arrives, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, stop worrying and take action. Action is the only cure for controllable problems. If no, the Stoics had a name for continuing to worry about the uncontrollable. They called it a failure of reason, a waste of the most valuable thing a man possesses, his attention. This question does not make difficult things easy, but it immediately shows you where your energy belongs, and that clarity alone quiets more worry than any other technique. Step 3. Practice negative visualization, then release it. This step surprises most people because it seems counterintuitive. The Stoics did not avoid thinking about bad outcomes. They deliberately imagined them, clearly, specifically, and in detail. Seneca wrote extensively about this practice, which the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. The idea is simple. Most worry exists because the mind is trying to prepare for something it fears. It keeps circling the threat because it feels unexamined, unresolved. The Stoic method meets that fear directly. Sit quietly. Take the thing you are most worried about. Imagine clearly that it happens, that the worst version of the outcome occurs. Then ask yourself 3 questions. Would I survive this? In almost every case, yes. Would I eventually recover? Again, almost always yes. Would my character, my values, and my ability to choose how I respond remain intact? Always yes. This practice does not eliminate fear. It reduces it to its actual size. It removes the exaggeration that worry adds to every threat. And once the mind has examined the fear directly and seen that it can survive it, it stops circling. It quiets, because it no longer needs to prepare for something it has already faced. Step 4. Return to the present moment, every time. One of the most important insights in practical Stoicism is this: worry does not exist in the present moment. It exists in the future. When you are fully present, fully engaged with what is directly in front of you, worry has no space to exist. Because worry requires the mind to leave the present and travel to a future that has not yet happened. Marcus Aurelius wrote repeatedly about the discipline of returning to the present, not as a spiritual practice, as a practical tool for maintaining focus, emotional control, and inner peace. He understood that the mind naturally wanders toward the future and the past, toward unresolved problems and imagined threats, and that the discipline of the Stoic mind is not to eliminate this wandering, but to notice it and return. The next time you catch yourself worrying, ask yourself, what is actually happening right now, in this exact moment? Not tomorrow, not next week, not in the worst possible version of the future. Right now. In most cases, you will find that right now, in this exact present moment, nothing is actually wrong. The threat exists only in the mind's projection of what might happen. Return to the present. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice what is actually in front of you. Do this every time the mind wanders. Not once, every time. Because every time you return to the present moment, you build mental toughness. The Stoic mind is not built in one moment of clarity. It is built in thousands of small returns to the present. Step 5. Replace worry with purposeful action. The Stoics were deeply practical men. They did not believe in passive acceptance of difficulty. They believed in deliberate, purposeful response to it, and they understood something that the worrying mind never learns. Action is the fastest way to quiet your mind, not because action solves every problem, but because action moves your attention from the imagined future to the actual present. from what might happen to what you are doing right now. When Marcus Aurelius felt overwhelmed by the scale of what he faced, war, plague, political betrayal, he did not sit with his anxiety. He asked himself one question: what is the next right action? Not the perfect action, not the complete solution, the next right action. And then he took it. This principle is directly connected to stopping worry about everything, because worry grows in stillness. It grows when the mind has nothing concrete to do. It grows when you are waiting, hesitating, avoiding. The moment you take purposeful action, however small, worry loses most of its power. Because the mind that is focused on doing cannot simultaneously spiral into anxious thinking. Every act of purposeful action over worry builds a stronger mindset, one decision at a time. The next time your mind cannot stop worrying, stop trying to think your way out of it. Move. Do something. Take the next right action, and watch your mind begin to quiet. Step 6. Build a daily practice of mental stillness. The 5 steps above are tools for moments of acute worry. But the Stoic method is not only about managing worry when it arrives, it is about building the kind of mind that worries less in the first place. Marcus Aurelius did not only deal with his mind in moments of crisis, he trained it every single day. Every morning he prepared his mind for the challenges ahead. Every evening he examined his thoughts and his responses with honesty. He understood that mental strength is not built in emergencies. It is built in ordinary daily practice. And that self-mastery, real, lasting self-mastery, is the result of that practice repeated every single day. For you, this means creating a daily habit of mental stillness. Even 5 minutes, even 10. Sit in silence, without your phone, without noise, without stimulation. Allow whatever thoughts arise to arrive, without fighting them, without following them, without judging them. This is not meditation as performance. This is the Stoic practice of becoming familiar with your own mind, of learning to observe your thoughts rather than be consumed by them. Over time, days, weeks, months, this practice fundamentally changes your relationship with worry, not by eliminating anxious thoughts, but by making them smaller, less urgent, less convincing. Because a mind that has been trained in stillness is a mind that knows the difference between a real threat and a worrying thought. And that knowledge, built through daily practice, is the foundation of lasting inner peace. This is the Stoic method for quieting your mind. When you cannot stop worrying, recognize the worry as a thought, not a fact. Ask whether it is in your control. Use negative visualization to face the fear directly. Return to the present moment every time the mind wanders. Replace worry with purposeful action. Build a daily practice of mental stillness. 6 steps, each one rooted in ancient wisdom that has survived 2,000 years because it works. Marcus Aurelius faced the fall of cities, the death of children, the betrayal of people he trusted, and the weight of an empire on his shoulders. And he remained, not always perfectly, not without struggle, but he remained a man of reason, discipline, and inner peace. Not because he stopped worrying, because he trained his mind to be stronger than his worry, because he built the self-mastery, the strong mindset, and the mental toughness to face difficulty without being destroyed by it. You already have everything you need to do the same. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are simply untrained. And training begins today. If this video helped you understand how to quiet your mind and stop worrying using Stoicism, subscribe to the Discipline Code. This channel exists to give the modern man the tools, the principles, and the daily practice to become the strongest version of himself through the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy. And if your biggest struggle is not worry itself, but the inability to control your emotions when everything falls apart, watch this next. How to control your emotions when everything falls apart. Because a quiet mind and controlled emotions together create something the Stoics called the unbreakable foundation. And that is exactly what we build here.